Sir, first the bigger question is like, what is, I know CICD and what is DevOps?
So DevOps is a team. Before, when we started development, right? In the early 2000s, we had a team that would build the code. They were called the development team. And once the code was built and it was pushed to production, there was another team that would manage that code. That was the operations team. What development team did was that they would build the code. They would then go ahead and they would give a cooling window like 30 days or 90 days, and the operations team would run the code with the end consumers. And if any issues came, they would reach to the development team, and the development team will fix that and push the changes. But because there was always a cooling off window, what it meant was that after 30 days, if you haven't brought any new issues, then the project is considered done, and the development teams washes their hand and they start doing something else. After that, if operations had an issue, there would be a struggle to find the right people to fix that problem because that team has now disbanded or has moved to something else.
Yep.
So the idea of DevOps means that there is only one team instead of two teams. This one team is responsible for the development and the operations of the work that they're doing. So they develop, they build, they deploy. After they deploy, they give support. Any issue comes, the same team is going to fix it. It's a continuous loop. It doesn't end. So you eliminate that practice that was happening in the past by running a DevOps org where you're going ahead and doing the work and supporting the work that you have done unlimited amount of time. So that is DevOps. All right. Now CI/CD is nothing but continuous integration, continuous deployment. It's basically the idea that if you can automate or somehow systemize the process of integrating and deploying the work, then you operate more lean, you are more efficient as an organization, as a team. What this means is that one, you need to have the right infrastructure. Second, you need to have the right skills. And third, you need to build that pipeline. So every time a code is being worked on, and it gets pushed from one environment to the next. If you have continuous integration, it means that the moment that code is pushed, the system runs a set of checks and tests and it gives a result. If the result is passed, then that code is good. It has been integrated, it moves forward in the pipeline. But if there are issues, then it will throw the issues right there and then in an automated fashion. And the development team responsible will look at those codes and start fixing the code. They will fix it till the time they can push that code and it can integrate and automatically go through. And deployment means once the system has been it has been successfully integrated, it goes through another series of tests to validate all the use cases for that code. And if they have all passed, then the code gets deployed in ideally in the production environment. Now, deployment does not mean that it is available to the end consumer or customer. Deployment means that the code is now pushed to production, but when do you release it is still a decision that you have to take. Sometimes you might want to release it on a very specific date and things like those, and you can do that. But because the code has been pushed in production, you are now getting valuable feedback of how the system is behaving. Is there any issue in the code or things like that, right? You start getting that feedback real time. The challenge with CI/CD is that it is a very high investment effort to start. It requires the teams to be very organized, and it also requires a very specific set of practices and approaches that you have to adhere by. For example, when you know that you're building this feature, you have to make sure that even before the feature's first story is done, your your CI/CD pipeline has all the right test cases captured. They have been added in the system and everything. So when that code is done and it pushes through, then all those test cases validate and things like those. So it's usually it's a long term effort, Very few organizations, in true sense, are operating full CI/CD. There is some bit of manual intervention and things like that, but it's an ongoing journey. It's an ongoing effort. Does that make
Okay, so
sense?
yeah, got it.